Last time on the DreamSMP YouTuber Hunger Games. After the first battle was won, everyone was revived and set into another. And soon, it came down to 3. Me, Drista, and Nihachu. Nihachu sent the finishing blow to me with the scythe, while Drista suffered the death of hypothermia, leaving Nihachu the winner of the second part of the game, and me with the most kills. Everyone was revived and sent to the middle, but no one was taken home. With the coming nightfall, we had a bonfire and told our tales, our grievances, and some fairly funny moments. It appeared as though we are set to perform another round. So with heavy hearts, but determined minds, we all went to sleep and awaited the morning.
We wake up and we're immediately teleported to the pedestals, and we see and realize we're gonna have to keep doing this. As much as we all fear death, we could all care less now at this point. We feel a little better. And now the horn sounds. J-Schlatt, Filza, and Quackity run away from the cornucopia, as well as George and Wilbur. Tommy finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. He's hoping that because he sucks at one-on-one hand-to-hand combat, he could probably shoot someone down with a bow and arrow. Dream runs away from the cornucopia, figuring that this worked a little better last time. So, if he runs away, hopefully someone will die before him during the bloodbath. Fundy runs away from the cornucopia, as does Thunder. Ant Frost and Honk fight Sapnap and Puns. Sapnap and Puns survive. See, Technoblade was smart this time. He knew not to get in any fight like that, and so he ignored Puns' request, and Puns reached out to Sapnap this time. Sapnap agreed, and so they weren't. Tubbo breaks my nose for a basket of bread, but swiftly apologizes afterwards as he runs away. And I can't hate Tubbo for that. We're gonna need as much food as we can, and as much as I hate the fact that I didn't get the food, I can't be mad. Awesome Dude runs away, as does Tucker. Aster also finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Eric runs away. Drista strangles Technoblade with a rope. As much as Technoblade wanted to survive, and he wanted to live at least for another day, Drista had other plans. She specifically targeted Technoblade and strangled him with a rope until he laid cold on the ground. Dead. Bad Boy Halo runs away from the cornucopia, as does Pikachu. Skeppy, unfortunately, while he was trying to run away from the cornucopia, falls into a pit and dies. That day, Dream meets up with me, and he congratulates me for not killing his sister, and so he decides to team up with me. We also team up with Fundy and Wilbur, like last round, because it worked. That night worked for us. And then we see Quackity, and we remember back to the first games where he had the most kills. And so we all hunt for other tributes, thinking us an unstoppable force. J-Schlatt hunts for other tributes. He is tired of dying. He's especially tired of dying to me. So instead of waiting and letting me kill him, he's gonna come to me and kill me before I can kill him. Sapnap severely slices Captain Puffy with a sword, while Tubbo scares Puns off. How did he scare Puns off? Simple. By telling him that he fought me and lived. This round, during the bloodbath, and Puns, not wanting to fight someone who has fought the one person who has both won and gotten most kills during separate times, but still, and lived to tell the tale. Tommy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Awesome Dude thinks about home and how he cannot wait to get out of this hellhole. As much as everyone is keeping as light of a heart on this as possible, it's hard to forget the fact that you actually feel the pain of being stabbed and killed. Miachu manages to capture Thunder and Filza. And then she spots Drista and she forces Drista to kill either Thunder or Filza to redeem herself for dying to hyperthermia. Drista with, well, I mean, it's not really a force, but more like, hey, you didn't get a fair chance. You died in a pretty terrible way. You're gonna get that well-deserved kill. So she tells Drista to kill either Thunder or Phil. Drista feels bad for Phil. He's had to endure a lot so far. And so she kills Thunder, leaving Filza to live. George overhears Eret and Babohalo talking in the distance. Bad is grieving to Eret because he saw Skeppy fall. Skeppy was right on his trail as they were running, and Bad barely missed the pit, but Skeppy wasn't so lucky. So he just watched as he saw his friend die. And Eret is comforting him the best way he can. Aster, meanwhile, discovers a cave. Probably the same exact cave that Jayshlat found last round. Because this isn't changing. The whole area isn't changing. So the pit that Skeppy fell down was probably from the plateau. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. That evening, Bad looks up to see Skeppy's picture and he's sobbing uncontrollably. Filza notices Technoblade's dead, yet again, practically from that day as well. But he realizes that if Technoblade was alive, then no one would stand a chance. Drista is glad to see that her brother is alive, and she can only hope that he stays alive for long enough. Miachu sees that Captain Puffy is dead and mourns. Unfortunately, District 10 is completely out, so only the other people from the other districts are able to mourn for Ponk and Thunder. Puns mourns for Antfrost, as well as Antfrost's friends mourn for him. And 1. So if we go back to day 1, Dream, Quackity, Fundy, me, and Wilbur, what are we all doing? What do we do? Well, while we're searching for other tributes, and after everyone takes a break from what happened, Wilbur splits off to kill Puns, and Puns is unable to convince Wilbur to not kill him. Wilbur, however, tells me to stick with Fundy and keep him safe, and I do. And we see Bad and Eret Eric just got done consoling Bad, and we decide to stick together for a little bit. And then I see my brother. I call him over, and for once that night, I'm with my brother to protect him. And we sleep in shifts. Dream, meanwhile, probably met up with his sister, who told him about Filza, and Dream goes over to Filza, and they wind up holding hands. And then Quackity, who diverts off from the group, finds Jschlat, Drista, and Tubbo. Quackity decides, okay, fine, I'll stick close to my district partner as much as possible, as much as he would hate to, but he does. Now, George, having heard Eric and Bad, gets caught off guard by Nihachu, who apparently had just to kill either Thunder or Filza from a shorter distance away. And so she sees that George is listening in on them and probably planning on killing them both, decides to strangle George with a rope. And then Awesome Dude looks at the night sky. Meanwhile, Tommy cries himself to sleep, and Sapnap attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Now, day 2. From this group right here, I stick with Bad for a little bit after Dream scared Fundy off, and by scaring him off, I mean he physically chases Fundy away from the group. So, yeah. And the group gets even smaller as Aster gets lost searching for a water source. Eric winds up diverging from that group as well, as he finds Wilbur, Awesome Dude, and Drista, who track down and kill Quackity. I stick with Bad as we meet up with Nihachu, who then explains to us that George was actually planning on killing both Bad and Eric, probably, and that he was overhearing Bad's grieving process. We then meet up with Filza, who got separated from Dream after Dream chased Fundy away, and we all decide to team up and search for other tributes. Sapnap decides to fish. And from that other group of Quackity, Drista, Tubbo, and Schlatt, well, I mean, Drista betrays Quackity and gathers up a little group, killing him, while Schlatt chases Tubbo. That's why Drista betrays and gangs up to kill Quackity, because Schlatt winds up chasing Tubbo, and no one kills Tubbo for no reason. And so the fact that Schlatt chased Tubbo and they are gone leaves Quackity alone with Drista, until Drista meets Eric, who then she tells how Quackity's district partner is trying to kill poor Tubbo. She then meets up with Wilbur, who she tells the same thing, and then Awesome Dude also joins in, and so all 4 of them track down and kill Quackity. That evening, 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Schlatt looks up to see Quackity dead before him yet again, and he realizes his mistake. He tried to kill Tubbo, leaving Quackity defenseless. And then Sapnap sees that George is dead and is very sad. Let's say that. But he still has his friend Dream. Although thinking about it, that might not be such a good thing to think about, considering the fact that it's both Dream and Drista. And with that, District 10 and 11 are both out. Completely. Everyone is determined to win. So determined that it's taking them a little bit longer to kill everyone. No one's dying immediately the first bit. Filza meets up with Jschlat, who gets lost after Tubbo gets away from him, and they hold hands. So Filza apparently sees Jschlat and diverts from the group. I see Aerith. However, Aerith's like, hey, can you please, actually try not to kill me this time? And I'm like, okay, fine. And he convinces me to snuggle with him. Bad questions his sanity. He has been split away from everyone, and without Skeppy, he feels lost. And he's mad. He doesn't want to be in this game anymore. He's tired of it. Meanwhile, Nihachu destroys Dream's supplies while he is asleep. He got too cocky. He didn't realize that there will be some smart players who will actively go after the better players. Now, out of this group, Drista, Awesome Dude, Aerith, Wilbur, Quackity. Well, not Quackity anymore because he's dead. Dang it, I forgot about that. Aerith gets split up from his group and sees me. And, like I said, convinces me to snuggle with him. And I was a little on edge, considering the fact that I did kill him twice. And one in a little more brutal way than the other. Wilbur and Awesome Dude from the last group decides to stick together. They also see Aster, and they promise not to kill him, after seeing how I will brutally kill anyone who messes with my little bro. And then they see Sapnap, who was originally going to attack, but they convinced him otherwise. So instead, he decides to join with them, and they all sleep in shifts. Drista, meanwhile, starts a fire. Fundy is awoken by nightmares. He's lost, and he's alone. Wilbur doesn't know that I've practically abandoned Fundy. Tommy sees a fire, but stays hidden. And Tubbo unknowingly eats toxic berries. And he dies. Unfortunately, because it was that night, no one's gonna realize it until that morning. Or the next evening. Drista receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sapnap, at that morning, attacks Fundy after, I guess, hearing Fundy talk to himself about questioning his own sanity. And so, Sapnap attacks, realizing that Fundy would be a fairly easy kill. I mean, the Dutch are nice people. But Fundy manages to escape, hiding out with all the other little foxes. Don't know how Sapnap manages to lose him, considering the fact that he is he is literally a bipedal fox. He's a fox boy who wears clothes. Wilbur, meanwhile, picks flowers. Aster collects fruit from a tree. And then Awesome Dude and Nihachu meet up with each other. And they decide to work together that day, splitting up and searching for resources. Now, what about Filza and Jschlat's group? Well, after that night, Filza makes a wooden spear, and Jschlat questions his own sanity. Eric practices his archery, while I hunt for other tributes. We decide it would probably be best to split that day. Tommy camouflages himself in the bushes. He's being smart now. Real smart. Dangerously smart. Dream accidentally steps on a landmine. Probably because Nihachu, she probably set up all those landmines after blowing up Dream's stuff. Dream steps on one of the ones that Nihachu probably dropped. And so he blew himself to smithereens. And then that evening, they all look up, and Tommy sees Tubbo is dead. And he's filled with pure rage. He doesn't know who killed him. He doesn't know. And what's worse is that Tubbo didn't die to anyone. So now, Tommy probably thinks that someone killed him. When Tubbo mistook toxic berries for edible ones. And then she realizes with a wail that Dream died before her yet again. She is sick and tired of being the one to live while her brother dies. Awesome Dude receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, while Nihachu, who I guess after splitting up resources with Awesome Dude, goes on her merry way, and she sees Bad, and she still feels bad for him. I mean, he did lose his best friend. So, she decides to team with him that night, and they sleep in shifts. Drista tries to treat her infection. Probably after having probably hurt herself after lashing out at the loss of her brother. Yet again. Sapnap receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Eric climbs a tree to rest. Filza tends to Fundy's wounds. Aw, like a good grandfather. Tommy starts a fire. Wilbur thinks about home. I receive clean water from an unknown sponsor. Awesome Dude receives clean water, yeah. Aster cries himself to sleep. He doesn't want this anymore. He's terrified. And when he's terrified, some people deal with stress by crying. And then Jschlat accidentally detonates a landmine trying to arm it, meeting a grisly end. Day 4. Fundy scares Nihachu off. So that night, Nihachu and Bad. Fundy winds up scaring Nihachu away from Bad, while Bad is hunting for other tributes. So they were probably both hunting, but then Fundy managed to get Nihachu away from Bad. Meanwhile, Filza meets up with some old friends. Eric and I meet up again, and we decide to hunt for some tributes. Same thing with Filza, and then we see Awesome Dude and Sapnap. And then, for some reason, unbeknownst, all are we don't know why we did it. There was really no reason for any one of us to do it, but we track down and we kill Wilbur for no reason in particular, other than he could go insane with the fact that there were explosions. People heard explosions, and the immediate thought, Wilbur did it. And so we decided to get rid of him, even though the poor man hasn't done a damn thing. Tommy questions his own sanity, while Aster steals from Justa while she's unlooking. Arena event. Again, acid rain pours down on the arena. Everyone knows what to do now, but it still hurts like hell. Bad Boy Halo survives. He is determined to win for Skeppy. Aster is unable to find shelter and dies. Sapnap survives. Nihachu is unable to find shelter and dies. Awesome Dude survives. Drista trips face first into a puddle of acid rain. And then I survive. Filza trips face first into a puddle of acidic rain. As well as does Eric. Gotta blame those heels. Tommy survives, and Fundy survives. 7 cannon shots can be heard. Fundy looks to see how Wilbur's dad is dead. Wilbur's dead. I look and I see Aster dead, and I know it was from that acid rain. Cause you could tell from hearing everyone's screams of agony. That night, Bad destroys Tommy's supplies while he is asleep. Awesome Dude and I tell stories about ourselves to each other. Sapnap attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. And then Fundy also tries to start a fire. He sleeps without warmth. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tributes of families. Tommy and Fundy go to the feast, but Tommy stabs Fundy while his back is turned. It was probably a mercy kill, but who knows? Sapnap decides not to go to the feast, being the only one not to go to the feast. Awesome Dude and I decide to go to the feast together. We see Bad. Bad sees Awesome Dude and I, and well, we all get into a fight. We manage to kill Bad, but Awesome Dude betrays me and he kills me. However, I couldn't care less. I've won in 2 different ways. I've gotten the most kills in one of them, and I've won the whole games in another. So I couldn't care. I will happily die if it means I get to be with my brother for longer as a spirit. Day 5. Awesome Dude tends to Sapnap's wounds. Don't know what Sapnap was doing. He didn't go to the feast, so I guess he hurt himself otherwise. And then Tommy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. And with that, they all look up. And sure enough, I'm dead. They notice that Bad and Bundy are also dead. And it's now 3 people. Tommy, who is determined beyond belief to win now, that he actively travels during the night while the other 2 are trying to get some rest. He travels and he ambushes them. He grabs some size and he repeatedly stabs Awesome Dude to death. Meanwhile, Sapnap runs for his life, terrified with what he saw, the anger, the fuel, the energy, the drive to win that burned in Tommy's eyes. He was scared of that. It was almost like the time when he got scared when Tommy said that he had the blade and Techno came in. But unfortunately, while he was running away, he steps on a landmine and kaboom. Meaning that Tommy wins. Just like the second game, everyone is teleported and there's just whoops and hollers from all directions. You have me and Nihachu, who congratulate Tommy on being another one of the winners. You have Tubbo, who Tommy holds on to dear life. And Tubbo tells him that he ate toxic berries. That's why he died. And yeah, everyone congratulates Tommy for winning. And with that, everyone is told that
The game is done.
they can go home now.
You can go home now.
And with a relief, the sigh of sweet relief, they're all teleported home. But one thing lingers in the back of their minds, something that the booming voice tells them. I can't wait to see what you'll do the next 3 rounds.